There's only one thing left to do.
What fool dares awaken me, the great Laharl?
Disgaea for the PlayStation 2 is like a deadly cancer. It's a tactical RPG packed with enough content and just the right elements that can make a certain breed of person go insane. I was pretty amazed when I first learned that you could level your character up to 9,999. You should have seen how blown my mind was when I realized that 9,999 was comparatively nothing, and that to defeat the strongest bosses in the game, you need to level a single character for a combined total of over 50,000. Wow. Oh, and of course, you can level your gear up as well. Disgaea initially appealed to me because I loved Final Fantasy Tactics, but I could never find another sufficient tactical RPG to play. Karsha on the PlayStation was rather boring, and then I was completely burned on my purchase of Hoshigami, which was a festering pile of crap. Disgaea was actually getting good reviews despite all of the RPG hate that's been popular in gaming magazines, and I found the quirky Japanese look to be interesting. I just had to check it out. From the moment I turned it on, this game instantly appealed to me. Sure, it looked kind of like a PlayStation 1 game in ways, but I just didn't care. It's not always graphical power that makes a game look good, but oftentimes it's the art that separates the generic crap from quality-looking games. Disgaea has excellent art, and I loved it. It truly emphasized the personality packed into this beast. Everything kept pleasantly surprising me. Disgaea was weird, awkward, and funny. The story was cool, never taking itself too seriously, and had a sarcastic air about it that didn't seem too cheesy for its own good. Well, usually. The English voice casting was good and actually added to the hilarity. Sure, Disgaea is packed with some anime jokes that may be hard for some to stomach, but thanks to the brilliant presentation in what's essentially a game created on a very strict budget, it shouldn't even matter. Very few games pack a personality like this. So that's all great, but personality doesn't really mean anything if the gameplay itself isn't good. And thankfully it is. Disgaea isn't going to be winning any friends over from the action-only gamers club, as the casual fans are completely left out of its peripheral vision, but that's what makes it so good for admittedly a limitation of people. Get over it, your hand is not being held here. This is turn-based tactical fighting, essentially chess for video gamers with an openness towards anime. Get ready for a ton of different variables that'll affect how your battles play out. Does Disgaea require an insane amount of grinding that'll send you soaring into the triple digits of hours? Sure, for some people. But just because the content is there doesn't necessarily mean you need to embrace it. You can spend a respectable 30 hours or so on the main storyline and then leave it at that. You'll spend some time doing what's essentially leveling as you traverse through the randomly generated battlefields in the item world, but it's still fun as you're gaming with a purpose. The main storyline is great, doesn't require too much excess leveling, and provides a very complete experience. I recommend to most people who try this game out to just stick with that. The endgame content is all for the stat hordes, which this game eventually heavily caters itself towards. There are tons of different types of leveling you can do for all sorts of things to custom create your character. There are so many different types of characters you can create with different skills that it starts to become jaw-dropping. You'll need all the advantage you can get to if you decide to start passing bills by force in the courtroom to unlock new quests, make your way through multiple 100 level stages in the item world to loot the item gods and kill them, or take on the most strongest and hidden bosses in the game. Sure, Disgaea boils down to a numbers game as you make your way past the storyline and into the extra content, but for that certain breed of person I previously mentioned, it's masterfully done. It might drive you insane, but I've never seen single-player grinding executed so well with such a variety of things to do. This game will become a cancer for math addicts and puzzle freaks. Beware. Disgaea Hour of Darkness is for tactical RPG fans and extremely hardcore tactical RPG fans. However, for those people, this game is gold. Disgaea offers one of the best experiences you can get for the TRPG. I really enjoyed this one, and it doesn't get much better than this. Disgaea Hour of Darkness for the PlayStation 2 receives a 10 out of 10.